Right, which is that again, like we talked about that old school
That's an old school
style.
mentality
That is, yeah,
that no longer happens.
yeah. So that's the way I look at it. Is there's a lot of good that came with the old school, but there's also a lot of negative that came with the old
Negative
school,
that came out
and
of old
that's one
school.
of them. That when I came across that, I wasn't too happy to hear that, but I understood. I understood. Like I'm not a new school. I'm 40. I'm not a new school guy. I'm an old school guy. I was put into that shit. And I didn't give up. I didn't quit. Obviously, I'm still around. I could go downstate and get booked and do a match and be fine. But for anybody else that this wasn't really what they wanted to do, that method it would have got rid of them. And that's what they always say, that
Mhm.
they do that to weed out people that this isn't meant for, right? So I get it.
Right.
I get it. I get it to a point, but I'm glad that we're on our way out of that kind of stuff that happens. I had a podcast with Eric Johnson, and and at the end of my podcast, I don't like to do shout outs. I don't like to do plugs, social medias. I like to say, hey, give some advice to people in the business who may be listening, people who want to come into the business, etc. And he says that um, be sure this is what you really want to do, because the moment you get into professional wrestling like a worker, it's gonna ruin professional wrestling for you. What are your thoughts on that statement, and would you agree?
He said that to me day one of training, and he's not wrong. I can't watch anything now without picking. My brain picks it apart immediately. My biggest my biggest pet peeve is when somebody feeds me their arm for an Irish whip. Don't
Mm,
don't do that. Let me grab it.
hmm
And I've seen some of the bigger indie guys do it, and I'm like, what are you doing? No, stop it. You're giving it away. Don't do that.
AG was doing that with us here. Like he was giving people the one strike, two strike,
Too
three
straight.
strike. They got it before the third strike. They got it. But yeah, that's definitely a thing. Um, and I agree with Eric. I watch like Raw every once in a while. The ladies kept me interested because my wife and my daughter were getting into wrestling, and they really liked Io
Mm-hmm.
Sky and Rhea Ripley, and they liked the story with like right now with Liv Morgan, Becky Lynch, all that stuff. So I enjoy the stories now, because the wrestling, I just like you said, we just tear apart. We don't try to.
We can't shut it off.
We can't shut it off.
We can't shut it off. It just your brain just picks it apart.
Brain picks it apart. Randy Willett says, for the state of Maine, and this is going to be an interesting question for you. I can't wait to see how you answer it. And nobody's name is off limits. Mount Rushmore of professional wrestling in Maine. And I'm going to write this down. So,
Number one's got to be Larry Huntley.
Larry. Okay.
Now, is this workers or is this promoters as well?
I'm going to go with workers. I'll go with workers.
Okay.
What? Let's stop before. Let's before you give me the other three. Let's stop at Larry. What does Larry mean to you?
Larry means Larry. I call my wrestling dad. Larry is right there for me. Doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't matter what I'm doing. He's always right there if I need him. He's that one person I can turn to if I need anything.
Even now.
Even now,
Awesome. Awesome. Who else we got?
I got to go Eric Johnson second.
So Larry Huntley, Eric Johnson. Now, what does Eric Johnson mean to Lee Miller?
Eric Johnson means he started Lee Miller. Without Eric, there would be no me.
Mm.
He was my first trainer.
He was a lot of people's first trainer. There was a point. There was a point. So it kind of shifted. So there was a point where Larry was somebody that everybody went through. Larry Huntley, I know Sonny was around for a little bit. Legion freaking Cage for New Wrestling Horizons back in 2007. Old Town, Fairfield, Brewer, Bangor. That's where I jumped in back in 2007 when I started. And then I came back and met Eric. Then there was a time where everybody went through Eric, right? Because there was nobody else. It was IWE.
Yeah,
There was IWE. There was some one-off
WWE.
promotions up here that fucking failed, whatever. But IWE was they had TV, they had a website, they had venues, they had shows every month. Like they were the shit, right? So that's not surprising that Eric gave you the opportunity and got Lee Miller started. So wrestling dad Larry Huntley, first trainer, and got Lee Miller started. Eric Johnson. We got two more. Who do we got?
I got to go Jason Rumble.
Jason Rumble. Okay. What does Jason Rumble mean to you?
The first vet to take me under his wing and give me advice.
Jason Rumble, when I was trying to come up, was the guy. Like he had championship titles. He had the big matches. He had the big segments. He had like the big guy, like the star feel in the shows. Like he was the guy. He was the guy when I was coming up. So, and I didn't ask him to watch my match, but I had my match. Went back to the gorilla. He was there, and as soon as you start, hey kid, let me talk to you. I was just like, yes sir. Like I just took it in. Let me hear it. Let me hear it. So definitely Jason Rumble. So Larry Huntley, Eric Johnson, Jason Rumble. That's already turning out to be a great Mount Rushmore. Who we got? Fourth and final.
Fourth and final, I got to go Alexander Lee. I
Alexander
got to go Bones.
Lee. What does Alexander Lee mean to Lee Miller?
One of the reasons I knew I could do professional wrestling, watching him in Fairfield versus Moment every other month, watching him versus Eric, watching him versus anybody made me realize that I could do what he was doing. I couldn't be as flashy, but
Mm.
I could get in there and I could do everything else. And he's one of my favorite people to wrestle.
One of your favorite people to wrestle?
Yes,
Yeah. Why is that?
that working him is like a jigsaw puzzle. When you're putting a match together, you'll call certain thing in order, but working him, you'll call certain things, and it's like a jigsaw puzzle. They won't be in direct order. So say you'll call spot A, B, and C, but you get out there with him and you do CBA.
That makes sense. But you're hitting all the spots, and it's just they're
It's just
there,
different
but
order.
different order. Different order. We actually had the privilege to host Alexander Lee and Caribou up here for Quantum Wrestling at United We Slam, which is a huge signing for us for that show. Um, of course, we had so for us, as big of a deal as it was for us to have Anthony Green at the fair, it was just
Hmm.
as big of a deal for us to have Alexander Lee and Caribou. That's
Yes.
how much we look at him. We look up to him like that. I don't say up to him, but like we really appreciate his work. He's definitely one of the staples in Maine wrestling and like in general. So it was fantastic to be able to have him come up here. It'll be a kind of it was a debut. It was his debut for us and Caribou. So we were jumping up and down in the back like we got him, which is huge for us. Obviously, he must be huge, a big deal for you too if he's on your Mount Rushmore, right? So we really appreciate
Yes,
it
he is.
for him to come here. Larry Huntley, Eric Johnson, Jason Rumber, Alexander Lee. That is a pretty solid um Mount Rushmore. Randy, this is your answer. That'll be $25. So out of the Mount Rushmore, you have again Larry Huntley, Eric Johnson, Jason Rover, Alexander Lee. Since we are in the conversation of like what do people mean to you, um, what does Samuel Matthews mean to Lee Miller?
Samuel Matthews means my best friend, my tag partner. I can turn to him with anything, and he'll immediately try to solve the problem if I have a problem. He's always trying to get me to laugh at shows, always trying to keep me upbeat, trying to keep me smiling. I'm probably my hardest critic. I'm constantly hard on myself, in my head, going over stuff. And he'll look at me and say, "Hey, cut that out. Get out of your head. Just chill out and relax." He's brought, a, how do I say it? He brought a fire out of me the first time we tagged. We first tagged in a tag match against Blade and Tony with Little Boogie in Tony's corner. And that match was wild. The finish got messed up, but we ended up getting hit with my own kendo stick by Little Boogie. But from that match, I looked at Randy. I looked at Randy Carver Jr. and I asked Randy because both Matt and I were training at the dojo, and I asked Randy, I go, "There's something there. Can we tag? Is there any chance of us tagging?" Randy said there's a possibility of it, and we started tagging from that point on as Vicious Intent.
Mm.
Vicious Intent wasn't exactly what Sam and I wanted to do. Sam came up with the whole Samuel Matthews follow me, and it just clicked with what I was doing in becoming the right hand to the pathway. It just made sense that I was the one to be the tag partner with him.
Mm. Okay. Were you still Samuel Matthews and Lee Miller when it was Vicious Intent?
Yes, we were still
Mm.
Samuel Matthews and Lee Miller with his Vicious Intent.
Mm. Did not know that. So you guys come to this podcast, you learn something new every day. Well, every Saturday. I don't got time for this every day. We do it. We do it every Saturday. Do it every Saturday. That's great. So you were it was you and Matthews against Blade, Bandit, I'm sure, and Tony Atlas, Little Boogie. That was what show was that? Was that Global?
That was global.
That was Global. Yeah. Damn, I know my shit. Jeez. Somebody stop me. Somebody stop me, bro. Man, I got so much. Listen, I got more main wrestling in my head. Chris, a little. Thank you for the like. I got more independent wrestling in my head than any other wrestling. You know how much wrestling there is out there? You know how much wrestling there is out there.
Yeah,
There's a
I know how
lot
much
of
wrestling.
wrestling out there. The only thing I have in my mind, bro, is main wrestling, and then maybe a little bit of like MLW, Beyond Wrestling, and the Wrestling Open. I got a little bit to Maple Leaf because Edge or Adam Copeland was going up there, so I wanted to see how that was going to be over there. JCW, right? Juggalo Championship Wrestling. I watched that a little bit
Yep.
because I like the Brothers of Construction. So I watched. I'm a little bit out there, but if you notice, I didn't say WWE. I didn't say AEW. I didn't say TNA. Like I don't watch. I really don't watch that stuff. Um, so when it comes to us and Maine, I'm all about Maine wrestling. I'm all about Maine history of wrestling, Crown of Maine wrestling, of course. Let's Wrestle, Limitless Wrestling, Maine Premier Wrestling. At one point, it was Main Event Wrestling, Global Impact Wrestling. Now there's the Easter Wrestling Association, Maine, with fucking Ace Romero and my boy. down there, Mister 23 Hazard.
Okay.
23 Hazard. So, what do you watch for wrestling?
I watch JCW every week, Juggalo Championship Wrestling.
Ah, hell yeah.
I'm a fan of Cocaine. I like what Cocaine's doing.
Not a big
I like
guy
how
at
they've
all
been.
either, huh? Like, he has a
No,
cool look.
not a big
Not
guy
a
at
big
all.
guy at all, but like kicking ass.
Kicking ass, taking names.
hmm
I like the fact that it's flavored with veterans like Kennedy and James Storm.
That that's wild. That's another conversation we have some other time. But yeah, go ahead.
Um, I like, obviously, I like Limitless. I like Let's Wrestle.
Mhm.
I'm I'm kind of big on No Holds Barred. Yeah, they're no longer ICW No Holds Barred. They're just Street No Holds Barred,
Mm,
and that's deathmatch wrestling.
mm,
I'm big into. I can say I'm big into AEW.
mm.
I don't watch it every week, but I catch it the following day online because I ain't
Right,
got the channel.
right, right. Yeah, I can't keep up with all the channels. Oh, Sammy Mouth is in the chat. Second live match for me. Is what he says. Has Archer says never give that arm away, and Vaughn says 23 Hazard is the man. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Hazard. I keep marking out for him until he friends me on socials. But I'm actually really a fan. So,
Believe it or not, him and I just had a match this past year at one of Larry's shows,
nice, nice.
and I can say that's easily one of my top five matches.
Tell me about that. How was it? How was it like working with him?
Working with Hazard is fun. He's go go go,
He's a trainer,
as you know.
right?
Yeah,
Right,
he's a trainer at
Pine
Pine
State,
State,
Pine State. Yeah.
and he works with your limitations. He knows how to work around what you can and can't do.
Hmm.
So working with him, I was nervous, and then talking to him about the match and planning it out, I quickly realized he's got me in his hands. I'm good.
Mm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, footage.
I do not have footage.
What is
Larry
wrong with you
shows.
guys?
I
Record your
shouldn't. I should
matches,
have recorded
man.
that. I should have recorded that.
Hell
There's two
yeah.
things that I. There's two things that I should have been doing from the get go. Is A, record my own matches on my phone.
Yep.
B, write down every match I've had in the notebook.
Oh my gosh. Something old schools don't teach you either. Record your shit. Fuck. We could have had Lee Miller versus 23 Hazard footage to enjoy and watch. And for you, and you say you are a peon. When you said about a year ago you were working with 23 Hazard, which is one of the hottest main talents. What is wrong with you? Why would you say that about yourself? somebody, somebody look at this guy. Someone come over here and look at this. Look at this guy. One of the things that we tell our guys in Crown is record your matches. When I went to IWE, I recorded all of my matches. I have all of my matches on a private YouTube that I can go back and watch at any given time and be able to see my progression from when I started as TJ Santana all the way to De Los Santos to Dio Santos and go back and watch that footage, right? Um, Plus, you can never trust the promotions to have your footage for you because sometimes they don't even record their shows, right? I know that Global doesn't record their shows. May Premier Wrestling may have some like clips of stuff, but they don't have full shows. Well, they got a couple matches on YouTube, but they don't have full shows. Luckily for us, Crown of Main Wrestling has full shows, so
Wrestling has full shows.
you don't have to really record your stuff because we got you. But like at the same time, do you really want to wait for us to post the show before you can watch your match? No, you want to
No,
watch your match.
watch it. I want to watch my match back. So I got to get better at that. That's one thing I got to get better
Yeah,
at.
record your shit. Like ask somebody. There's plenty of people out there. Say, hey, could you record my match? Record my match. I always brought my cameraman. I always brought a cameraman with me to the shows down in Bangor, Brewer, Fairfield, whatever the fuck you want, Island Falls. I brought my own cameraman. When I worked Wesley Pipes in Island Falls, I had my cameraman with me in the back behind in the gorilla, and then he was behind. The camera starts behind me, and then you follow me out the curtain, and then you see the crowd, and then the camera works its way around me, and then follows me into the ring. Like you know what I'm saying? Like that shit.
That's cool.
I had that recorded. I got my own camera. I told Eric, "Hey, I got my own camera, man. Is that cool?" He was like, "Yep, got my own mic." You guys got to start recording your stuff, man. Got to start recording your stuff. Back in the day, record your shit was done on VHS tapes. K-Bar, if we're going old school. Chris Little says, yeah, agree. Back in the day, was recorded at VHS. Yep, yep. You guys, yes, I was. I mean, you guys are going so fucking old school though. Like
Yeah,
I was like I was old school, but like on the way as VHS was going into DVDs and shit. Like that's the era I was in wrestling. So
yeah.
we had camcorders. I didn't have it wasn't a big ass camcorder. It was a smaller camcorder with like an SD card or whatever the fuck it was, whatever. So, but yeah, you guys are right. VHS was a thing, but I was there in between the transition from VHS to DVD. We were talking about Let's Wrestle. You were talking about Limitless. You were part of the dojo, right? You were part of the Limitless dojo.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
did a lot of work there, and that's what ended up, I'm sure, having you be a part of the Let's Wrestle program, having shows with them. Um, they ended up moving, right, and not going by the dojo. Is that the Pine State Pro now? Is that what it ended up
That's
becoming?
the Pine State Pro Wrestling School.
That's the Pine State Pro Wrestling School. Adam Booker, Ace Romero, 23 Hazard. How much did that move with them affect you?
That move affected me to the point that I've got to get back down there to start training again. Yeah, I'm doing shows every month with Larry, but I know certain things that I need to work on consistently to keep them sharp and keep them sharp and on point.
Yeah.
They had classes at the dojo Friday night, which was perfect for me because I get out of work and fly right up there and go train. Now they have it Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So me being up at 2 a.m. for work
Mm.
and going down for a 2 hour drive
Hmm.
one way, it's just it's not feasible. Classes start at 6 and they end at 9, and then I got to turn around and drive 2 hours back, which is 11, and then I got to be up at 2 a.m. again the next day for work.
Hmm.
It's just it's not it's not feasible.
How close was the dojo to you before they moved?
Dojo to me was 40 minutes away.
40 minutes away. Okay, 2 hours too much. 40 hours was a good like the sweet number.
40 minutes was a sweet number.
Gotcha, man. I know a lot of you. Like I heard a lot of you once they moved further south. Um, I know a lot of people. I know JP mentioned can't get down there all the time. Big Cat said can't travel that far every time. Like a lot of you guys, the core, if you will, of the guys that we have, especially for Crown of Maine, were definitely affected once they moved like that. Um, we have the advantage for Crown of Maine that we have our ring set up. Like our ring is set up right now. We can go hit the ring, hit the ropes, have mock matches, do some trainings, take what we've learned from seminars, and I do a lot of training up here with some of the boys because I have knowledge that I've earned over the years, and not just in Maine. I've wrestled in
Mhm.
Georgia, Texas, Connecticut, Baltimore, here in Maine. Like I've done my share of work. and smart enough to be able to give people the good information and kind of weed out the bullshit that I had to kind of go through. But we have the advantage that I got a 20 minute drive and I'm in the wrestling ring. You know what I'm saying? You guys don't
Yeah,
have that, um, which sucks. But we understand the motive behind having to move that promotion, and good for them. They're doing great, right down their way. And
yeah, they're
uh,
doing great down there.
I wish I can see more of what they're doing. Like when they were close, before they moved, we got the Let's Wrestle. We had all those matches that we could watch right now on the main wrestling collection. We can see a lot of those matches that took place right in that dojo before the move, and we don't have that right now, which I'm just nosy and to want to see what they got going on in the new place. So um, John Willett in the chat says, "What would be a dream match coming that you would think that would work really well for you?" Singles match first. Okay, so what would be a what is I don't want to say dream because we're just us, but what is the match that you would like to have it with a crowd of main talent in singles, and then with you and Matthews, what would be a team if you could put together an opponents? Who would you like to put together to have a match against you guys?
Dream match for us right now, and I know he probably won't disagree with me, would be me and Sam versus MSP.
Hmm.
We are yet to have that MSP tag match with our trainers.
Mm.
That would be our dream match right now. My singles dream match at Crown, I would want to have with Alan. Alan and I could tear it down.
Have you seen what Allen has been doing?
I've been watching.
He's a tough little bugger right now. He's a tough little guy right now. The top of the world, man. You got the sanctuary. You got JB. You got Logan Lennox. Like I'm not taking anything away from him, but we all know that a lot of what's been going on is because he does have the numbers game. But he's also a tough son of a bitch, man. The stuff that I've been watching him do and take, and the opponents he's been working, and like he's tough. Um, so I'm giving it credit 100%. He definitely deserves the spot that he's in right now, and he proves it every single time he gets in the rings. That'll be interesting, actually, to see you and him work. But of course, it won't be fair because he got the sanctuary. But you do have the creator,
The path.
the path.
I got the creator.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. Everybody keeps comparing. I don't want to say everybody because I don't think anybody's really mentioned it, but Matthews had mentioned it. Like we're not here to tell you to follow us. We're just here to offer you um, an opportunity to be your true self. Right? We're here to open the pathway for you. Everyone is welcomed. Um, when you look at the pathway and when you look at the sanctuary and what Prophet is doing, could you see how that could be confusing a little bit?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I can definitely see how it's confusing.
There's like, why are these guys not together? Right? How would you differentiate the two in your words?
We are taking in anybody and everybody. From what he's doing, he's taking in the second generation superstars coming up.
Mm. He's kidnapping.
It's not kidnapping.
Well, it's
He's
volunteering.
just helping them.
They're volunteering,
They're
right?
volunteering.
I get it. I get it. You guys are kidnapping. No? I'm wrong?
No, we're not
Okay, okay.
kidnapping.
No. No kidnapping. Okay,
No
got it.
kidnapping.
Let me write that down. Nobody kind of made it not good. Kind of made it not condone. Um, Interesting though, right? Because he's the champion. He's the guy, right? He's the guy for Quatermain as the Quatermain champion. You guys are tag team champions. There's gold on both sides, right?
Hmm.
Have you guys thought about maybe giving away free merchandise?
Have you thought about giving away free merchandise? Uh, Believe it or not, we were giving away Pathway stickers and magnets with the last run of T-shirts we had.
Hell yeah! Oh,
So
fun
if you bought a
fact!
T-shirt, you get a sticker and a magnet.
Fun fact: I don't see Profit shirts in the audience, but I do see the Pathway shirts in the audience. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. That's all I'm going to say about it. I feel like some paths may cross in the future. That'd be interesting to see how that plays out. But I'm just saying, I see a lot. I see a few Pathway shirts. You can watch our footage on any show, and see the Pathway shirts. Front row, by the way. Van Buren, front row. Caribou, they're there. Uh,
There's one section in Caribou. There's
uh,
one section in Caribou because Andy was taking me around to get shot by the fans,
mhm.
which I was struggling with. And you get to one section of the crowd on one side of the ring, and they wouldn't touch me
Yep,
because they were all wearing Pathway
they're
shirts.
the Pathway, man. I try to tell you, you ain't no peon, brother. I'm gonna keep reminding you. By the way, I'm gonna keep reminding you. You're a fan of death matches. Would you do a death match? And I'm not talking. Oh, I know we talked about like you allow light tubes, but you won't do like glass. But
No, I won't do
you're a
glass.
fan. You're a fan of death matches. Um, cheese grated to the forehead.
Yep,
Tell us about that experience. How does that feel?
cheese grater to the forehead. It wasn't as bad as you think it was. It didn't. It didn't hurt. All right, it was as bad as you think it was. It just didn't hurt as bad as you think it did. That cheese grater cut me up pretty good, and it's one of them. It's actually on Crown's YouTube. Me versus JP O'Reilly.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I'm going to share it on the Beyond the Crown podcast channel, guys. I remember now. I almost forgot until you said that. I was like, no shit. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
It happened
Um,
in Van Buren.
Van Buren. Yeah, we had the forks and the styrofoam thing poking up, and that's when we decided we don't longer allow thumbtacks in our shows. We do we do
I,
we do
I,
Legos.
I, I might be the reason that thumbtacks
You
aren't
are
allowed.
you are you are you and JPR. You're the reasons. Once we took over, we're like, we're not doing thumbtacks. They're a bitch to clean up. Everybody has them in their fucking the bottom of the shoes. It sounds like we're tap dancing in the locker room because they're underneath our shoes the entire time. So we're yeah, it's a bitch to clean up. So now we just do Legos, and not even just Legos. We have limited how many of those type of matches we do. Notice we are at the end of the year. We've done one of them, just one.
Yep.
We won't
Just one.
we won't unless it makes sense, right? Unless it makes sense. And you can put your tag
Unless it
title
makes-
down. I promise I won't take it.
It's
I
my
lied.
precious.
I lied. I'm taking it. I'm going right now. Vaughn said, "Oh, K-Bar says Larry suggested rat traps. Would you do rat traps?
I would do rat traps.
It sounds like I think that would be fun. The rat traps. I think I would do rat traps.
I'll do
I'm,
rat traps.
I'm down. Right to the fingers.
Right to the finger.
Jeez. Yeah, rat traps are in. Lee Miller says yes to rat traps. Vaughn says I took a barbed wire chair shot to the head by JP. A barbed wire chair. Should JP be stopped?
JP JP's the hardcore maniac. Nah, he shouldn't be stopped. He should be more controlled on what he does, but he should not be stopped.
He had a tag team death match. Do you see that? Cabba wrestle.
I did not see that.
It was him.
I haven't seen it yet.
It was JP. Well, I didn't see it. I saw them talking about it. JP Alexander Lee versus two others in Mass. I think it was Mass for Cabo Wrestle, a tag team death match.
Wow.
You can just imagine Alexander Lee and JP already, and they're on a team.
Now I want to see that footage. I gotta find some way to see that footage.
I bet you there's no footage. I bet you. Because nobody records this shit. Okay, I need to calm down. I'm sorry. That pisses me off, man. Like, there's people out there that have amazing matches with some names coming up, right? And they would say, hey, I did this, I did that. We are in the business of show me. You don't have anything to show. I don't care what you say that you worked this person, worked that person, worked this person. Like, I could tell you I worked Wesley Pipes and show you footage. I could show you I worked Eric Johnson and show you footage. Like, I could show you the footage. Like, we need more people and everybody in the chat. Please keep this in mind. Record your matches. We are in the business. We're in the never say never business. Obviously, we know that. But we're also in the show me business, especially when we start getting a lot of people try to work for Crown. That's fantastic. Great to hear that you worked 20 years. Cool. Show me. Show me.
Show me.
Show me what you've done, right? And please show me within the last 5 years. Don't show me 20 years ago, right? Show me now what you've done the last 5 years. I'll take 5. 10 years, sure. 5 years. But we're missing out on a lot of, I feel like we're only hurting ourselves when we don't record our stuff and then promote ourselves on socials. Some people's socials are dead, are quiet. Yet in real life, they're busting ass. They're hitting the road. They're traveling. They're working all sorts of people, but you would never know because, again, they're not recording their stuff. They're not putting stuff on socials. They're not putting things on YouTube. They're not talking about the shows they're doing, and that hurts us. And maybe it doesn't matter to those who think that, oh, I'm not going to get signed, so it doesn't matter. But, like, if you're doing this and you're traveling and you're getting booked, like, don't you think that people should have just a little bit of, I don't want to say professionalism, but a little bit of, uh, um, just more care. There you go. Just, don't you think that people should care just a little bit more about what they're doing?
Yeah, I think that I should definitely record my matches and give it a little more care than what I have been.
Mm,
Because, like you said, look at what I've done in the last year working Hazard and not having proof of that.
mm,
That would be an excellent match for me to turn around and show what I can do and get it out there.
yeah, yeah. And How's is on fire. He is on fire.
That man is on fire right now.
He is
My boy.
fuego. He's fuego, man.
Mm-hmm.
Fuego. And you would have been right there to be like, boom, here's the proof. Boom. I worked Hazard, promote it. Like, us workers, we have to promote ourselves, right? Crowd Wrestling, we promote the hell out of everybody that works for Crowd Wrestling, right? Because we want to show that we have this talent that we have. This is like, these guys are working. You're working. You're busting your ass. Jacques is busting their ass. Crow's busting ass, and we're showcasing that. Boom. Here's this clip. Here's this picture. Here's this promo. Here's this, right? We just here, constantly throwing it in people's faces so they can see. Dude, those recordings are right. The recordings are your portfolio, right? Your portfolio. So if you did want to work elsewhere, I know right now it's so Maine is Maine. We're all connected. We're connected, right? In one way or the other, we're connected. It doesn't matter. How are we connected? Very simple. Randy used to do. He used to be the announcer for IWE, right? Eric Johnson was a promoter of IWE. You and I both got trained with Eric in IWE. Hazard was working a lot of IWE under a different name at the time. He was working with someone else at the team, right? He did his own Connor Murphy shit. He did that.
Yep.
MSP, they were going under different names. They were IWE. Like, I could keep naming people from Maine, and we're all connected. One way or the other, we've crossed paths. We've shared the ring. Some people just kind of were able to gain momentum some way somehow and blow up and do amazing things, and others like ourselves are in rural areas where we're just trying to find ourselves and grow, but we're doing a great job this year. We're all connected, right? We're all fucking connected. So, but the footage, the proof, when it comes to booking, we all already know who is who already, right? We all already know who's who.
Mhm.
We all share the same talent, right? Main Ring Wars, MPW, MEW at the time when they were around. Let's Wrestle. Like we all share talent, right? So we all know who's who. So maybe like recording stuff and having footage, maybe it wasn't as important, maybe, right? But it's important. Like you don't like to watch your stuff and learn from your stuff, critique it, break it down.
If I'm part of me likes to watch my stuff back and break it down, and then the other part, I will sit there and criticize the entire thing and be my worst critic.
Good. That's the good part. That's good. That's good.
Yes and no, because I am super hard on myself to the point where I turn around and I mentally beat myself up about things.
You think that's bad in this business? In this business, do you think that's a bad thing to see something that you could maybe work on and you beat yourself up over it so you can get it right? Maybe you think that's bad.
I don't think it's bad. I think I think it's good to a point, but I'm the type that will sit there and I'll stew on it and I'll stew on it and I'll stew on it and I just won't let it go.
You have an example of one of those things that you might have seen that you stewed on and were like, I could do that better, and you kind of hung on to? Like, what's an example of one of those moments that you've seen?
Working K bar at King of the Crown, King of the
County.
wow, King of the County. All I did to him most of the time was sit there and chop him.
Hmm.
We went back and forth, but all I was doing was laying in chops. Knowing I can do a lot more than that, and I could show a lot more than that, is what I will stew about for
Hmm.
weeks on.
Why not that? Why not this? Why did I do that? I could have done this. I could have done that.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm thinking of some moments that I would have had like that. But you watch that, you see that, and then if you find yourself in that position again, you already know your brain's gonna go right to that footage or that moment and be like, okay, I'm not gonna keep doing the same shit the last time. I'll switch it up. Boom, boom. And you know, add what you can add. How do you feel about that now? Just looking at my questions that I've had. World Backyard Entertainment. Listen, everybody in the chat, we talked about like I don't like to ask the question of like what like how did you get into wrestling, because it's usually the same answer. My parents, somebody I know as a kid. And a lot of people will also say this: I did backyard wrestling. I wrestled at the park. I wrestled in my backyard. I wrestled here. I wrestled there. World Backyard Entertainment, Mr. Lee Miller. Tell us about it.
I was just hanging out one afternoon at the house. I got a call from somebody that was in the company. I say company, it was more like a backyard federation. I got asked to come participate and wrestle. And I was not wrestling with IWE at the time. And I said, screw it. I'll go do my thing in the backyard and we will still do what we love to do. We started in Allen's That's how I met Alan. We started in his side yard, the yard to the side of his house.
So not backyarders,
We
side
started there,
yarders.
side yarders. We started there, and we had a little cult following of people. And then Raph's dad bought Raph a ring because
Mm,
Raph's dad was the one who was like, "You guys, no bump on ground. You guys
mm,
do more damage, no bump on ground."
mm.
So Raph's dad bought us a ring, and that changed the game for us tremendously. Granted, we were doing everything on the wrong side,
Yeah, yeah.
but we were learning how to. I can't say we were learning how to bump right because we weren't,
Hmm.
but we were learning. We were learning psychology a little bit, a little why do this, why do that, and it got to the point that we were putting on shows every week, and we were outdrawing IWE.
Mm.
Sonny and Baum were running IWE at that point. We were outdrawing them to the point Sonny and Baum came to us and said, "Hey, come train with us. Come, come train with us." And that was 2016.
Mm.
We started, yeah, we started in 20, started training in 2016. Had our first match in 2017.
Wow. Outdrawing IWE at the time.
Yes,
Oh,
we
wow.
just our little backyard show.
Vaughn put a link in the chat. I'm not gonna play Vaughn on here, but I will definitely check it out though. You want to tell us what it is? It's from JP Facebook. I'm not sure what it is, but I'm not gonna share it here. We can share it when JP's here. That's what we do. Oh, which I haven't even had JP on here, which is quite interesting. Not yet. I haven't had JP here. I haven't had Big Cat here. Um, we'll wait and see how it goes. But I'll definitely check out the clip, Vaughn, after we're all said and done here. The Scout Hegan shows, the fair shows. At one point, you were the king of the fair champion. What is to you? What aside from the obvious, right? But what's the difference between being in a venue and working a fair show? Like, do you approach those shows differently?
I do. In a venue, more of a it's more of a standard match. It's not at a fair show. It's more of an 80s style, old school wrestling than it is at a modern show. The fair wrestling, you want to work the crowd more. You want to feed to the crowd more. You want to not do as many flippy dippy moves as I call them.
Mm, mm,
On an arena show, a venue show, you're more feeding to the crowd, yes, but you're also going to certain spots at certain points in the match.
mm, mm,
With a fair, it's more 80s style, call the beginning, call the open, cut off, don't call your heat at all. You just call it out there, and then the finish. An arena show is you call everything from beginning to end.
mm.
That's how I would see the difference between the two.
uh, the clip that Vaughn was sharing was just the barbed wire chair shot. I'm gonna definitely check it out after the stream though. Uh, when we get you on, we'll share it. Wink, wink. Get your ass in here. So here's the way I look at fair shows. I look at fair shows as if um, a lot of people, the majority of the people that are going to be sitting there watching us do our thing are either A, not wrestling fans, B, don't really care who's doing what to who. They just want to see some action. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so that's the type. So when I did the King of the County last year. Um, I didn't take it as serious as I take venue shows, right? Because I
Yes.
know that a lot of these people are just here because we're here. Like they're just coming through. There's a bunch of shit going on. They want to be indoors, just hanging out with us. A lot of them were CMW fans last year, just like they are this year. But I was just like, nobody really cares who's a good guy, who's a bad guy. They don't care about it. They just want to see some fighting, some action, whatever. But this, I'll do that. Venue shows for me, it feels like a televised show. Like we're gonna be on TV. Like we want to give our best. Excuse me. We want to give our best product in venues. We could get away with a lot more in fairs. We could be more goofy if we want to be more goofy. We could be less serious and less aggressive and be funny and like that's the way I look at fair shows compared to venues. Venues more serious. Fairs are just this is do give them
You're
something.
100% right.
Yeah, just give them something, a little something, right? They're not gonna care if fucking if I beat Lee Miller or if Lee Miller, they don't care. They just want to see some action, and we just give them whatever bullshit we want to give them. But the venue shows, especially for Quantum Man Wrestling, every show intertwines into the next show. The people care at those shows, the venue shows, more than the fair shows. That's just the I couldn't do a I would have a hard time doing multiple fair shows because I'm kind of like I like to look at wrestling a little bit more serious. There's some like the goofy, silly shit. Like I think it kills a lot of characters.
Hmm.
Unless you're mystery wrestling, which like their whole shtick is just funny wrestling, right? But
Yep.
people doing silly things for a serious character, I think that kills their character, especially in a promotion, which every show, like I said, intertwines into the next show. You're just hurting yourself, right? The fans don't take you serious. If you're a heel and you're just a fucking goofball and you're fighting a babyface and he's making you look like a goofball, how serious of a match is it? And why should it take you serious in that match? They wouldn't.
You're 100% right.
They wouldn't.
They wouldn't take you serious.
They wouldn't take you serious. Now it's just the babyface doing stupid shit like giving you a fucking noogie. That's embarrassing, right? That's stupid. That's stupid, in my opinion. Again, I look at it differently. Like, I think funny
No,
moments
you're not
is
wrong.
one thing, but like, I like the seriousness of wrestling, that the competitiveness of wrestling, and the fair shows just doesn't. That's not the place for that, and that's why I'm not really a fan. That's why exclusive. I'm not really a fan of fair shows. But you were the King of the Fair champion at one point. So what does that mean?
King of the Fair champion is you're the champion of the fair. You represent the fair as the champ.
One fair?
It doesn't matter the fair. This title goes across the entire state at all the fairs.
Oh,
Currently, Raphael is the King of the Fair champion.
oh snap! Did not know that.
Um, yeah, that just happened Thursday.
Shit just happened. Oh, hey, exclusive. Beep, 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 beep. Nice. So Raphael is either did he beat you for that or does he like how does that work?
We had a triple threat match. Me, him, and Sawdust, and it was old school ECW elimination style. I was the first one eliminated, which sucks because I lost my championship.
Yeah, I hear that. Yep.
And then they went another 8 minutes after that, and Raphael came out on top.
Mm. I'm recently seeing a lot about this sawdust person showing up a lot. Um, we follow each other on TikTok. I've been seeing his work for the fairs. He moved from North Carolina to Maine to be a wrestler, and he's been doing a lot of work in Maine. And He's actually booked for Let's Wrestle and Brewer. I think the 9th or the 10th in Island Falls. Either way, um, yeah. So I mean, whatever he's doing, he's doing it the right way. So good for him. Good for him. Some of the opponents you've had. Speaking of which, Stardust, Jason Maverick, Mark Moment, Pete Corvus, Ricky Williams, J.P. O'Reilly, uh, K Bar, for Crown here. Do you do you learn from every opponent that you take on? Do you take something from those matches?
I every match I have, I take something away. I always take something away from every match.
Mm. Oh yeah.
My big thing that I took away from the Pete Corvus match that I had with him was my intensity. I needed to be just a tad more intense than what I was.
Hmm. Hmm. I agree. Um, a lot of the roster needs that one thing, that like you said, that intensity. Um, I probably will talk to you in person about this, but I agree. We're lacking intensity in our matches. That's the only thing, right? Because for the casual fan, right? That's what they're looking for. They know the behind the scenes of how wrestling works, but it's up to us to make them forget that, right, during our matches. And one way to do that is to bring that intensity that they're kind of borderline like, holy shit, was that real? Right? That's the only thing
Yeah.
that a lot of us are missing. And that's one of the things that I'm teaching up here for our trainees, and even some of the roster members that are still currently with Crowd of Maine. Is like, we're missing out on intensity. And if we could just turn that knob up on intensity, the match itself is going to look amazing, because again, it's going to look like what? A competitive match, right? It's gonna look like a fight. It's gonna look like, you know what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about between the fair and venues. It's like we're missing that intensity and the,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. But like, guys, if we can get that intensity into our matches, like if we could throw a line right where it should be, instead of throwing it up and over their heads, that's a good start, right? That's a good start.
Yep.
Why the hell are we throwing it up here? I throw my line like a punch, right, to your face.
Yes.
Fwah, right?
Yes.
So, but again, we'll talk more off camera and in person. But I agree with you. The intensity is definitely a must. Tag teammates. Not only have you taken on Jason Maverick, you worked with him as a teammate at some points in your career.
I worked with him as a tag team partner a couple of times.
How's that, working with Jason Maverick as a partner?
Working with Jason as a partner is awesome because I've got that big muscle behind me. I've got that hoss. If I can't gain control, I can tag him in and he can easily grab the control.
You're 257 pounds, bro. What the hell are you talking about?
I can't grab control of Big Cat like that.
Come
Are you
on,
kidding me?
man. Get in there. You're just a kitty cat.
He's just a kitty cat. That's a big kitty cat.
He's a big cat, boy. Jesus. Bro, I told you you're not a peon. Cut the shit out. Get in there. Get your hands dirty. Grab that little cat by his mane and fucking shake his ass. Shake him around a little bit. You've also tagged with Jacques Louis Francois, the crazy Canadian who just recently returned, what I say, Crown of Main Wrestling. You remember working with him?
I tagged with him against Ryan Colson and Larry Huntley
Mm-hmm.
for DIW. It was an outdoor show, and tagging with him was fun. He worked with Ryan specifically. Ryan wouldn't work with me in that match for some reason.
Mm.
I think my size had quite a bit to do with that.
See?
But tagging with him was fun.
Hell yeah. Let's see what else we got on here. Oh, I just came across your page. Is the Mount Rushmore: Larry Huntley, Eric Johnson, Jason Rumble, Alexander Lee. I think that's. I think we covered it all, my man. Let's just double
All
check
right.
here. Let's double check. Real deal. Pete Corpus struggles. How you started. Good stuff. Fan of death matches. You and Raph, Larry Huntley and horror. Um, one of the struggles is showing emotion. You got to work on that. I know that that's a struggle for you, but like a lot of this, like we watch a lot of, so everybody could do like for us, like we could do the moves, right?
Okay.
What separates us is the emotion, is those moments that we bring to the matches, right? That's what's gonna
Mm-hmm.
separate you from somebody else. One of the coolest things. Well, one of the things I like to mention is when Uncle Bob Evans says, what is it about Richard Holiday that gets him all over the place, booking all over the place, right? It's not because he's a good wrestler. He's always been a good wrestler, right? He's always been able to take moves, right? It's that
The emotion.
he brings more to the table. And I'm not just talking to socials. I've seen his work. He brings more. There was a guy by the name of Luke Robinson that was in IWE,
Yes.
way before the Tough Enough and everything else for WWE.
Mm-hmm.
I got to watch him in Fairfield and do some trainings and be in the ring with him before a show. And the moment I saw him, I already knew this guy's great. And it wasn't because he was taking bumps and because he was taking the moves, and it's because when he did what the emotion that he showed, the selling, the faces, right? All of that stuff that he did, I was just like, holy shit, this guy's good. Off of that, just off of that, right? Facial expressions, selling, all that. That's another thing. Aside from intensity, is we're missing those moments that we need in 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 what we're doing right now. That's all we need. We need to slow down. We need to add emotion, and we need to add intensity. If we could add those three things, we're golden, bro. We are golden, and our matches will look
Mm-hmm.
amazing. We could do less. We could do less with those three things. We could do less and still get over and still look like a million fucking bucks. So happy one, fast next level, great shit. Congratulations to Rav. Get a great person to be in the ring with. This is John Willett. Congratulations to Rav. Great person to be in the ring with. Happy that he won. The king, the I'm sorry, the fair champion, the king of the fair champion. Yep. Like you passed it to the next level. Great champs. Great champs in his family. Great person. Yep. I got it. I got you. Great. Not get. I got you. Um, I call you guys the Crown Main roster, and I'm gonna treat you as such. And I'm a push you as such on socials and all that because you guys mean a lot to us, and we want you guys to mean a lot to others. And again, Pathway shirts in the crowd, they're big fans. So one thing I don't like to do, I mentioned this earlier, I don't like to do shout outs. I don't like to do plug your socials or nothing like that because I think we do very well for you on our socials to plug you.
Yes.
But
Yes, you guys do.
thank you. So, what is some words of advice, some words of motivation, words of inspiration that you could pass on to the next generation of wrestlers or people who are in the business that right now that may be struggling with things and maybe want to quit? What are some things you could pass along to them to maybe help their journey a little bit easier in professional wrestling?
Be hard on yourself, but don't be too hard on yourself. Always expect the unexpected in this business. And just because one person says you ain't got it doesn't mean you don't have it.
Mm, that's huge. That was a good one. That was a good one. All right, folks. Glad you guys were all here. I appreciate you all for joining us yet again. We are on a 6-week run right now with podcast. You have to stay tuned for who's going to be next on the next podcast for next Saturday. This is Lights Out Lee Miller. Thank you for being here, bro. We appreciate you. I'm Lewis, and this has been the Beyond the Crown podcast.